Hello everyone, this is Shooter Fantasy, and today this might be a bit of a pessimistic video, but I do have thoughts I would like to share. And these are kind of things I wish I kind of did earlier in my life. I don't think I would have decided to go into the tech industry or even into the idea of a games industry had I known I would be in the position that I am now. That's not to say I haven't had some successes, but I feel like had I taken a different career path, I would have been a lot better off. And I would have probably picked a trade, either plumbing, being an electrician. Any of those jobs would have probably paid a lot more than any tech job that I can get where I currently live. So I've actually disappeared from YouTube for over a year at this point. I kind of stopped doing regular uploads and even just uploading all that much, if at all. And that's because I actually was working at a corporate position for a little bit. I worked with a startup that specialized in virtual reality and all sorts of industrial applications, and some of these things were like educational resources for the government and all these different clients. Problem is that the clients started to slow down, so the company wasn't bringing in as much money anymore, and they had to start letting people go. Unfortunately, I was one of the people who was let go, so for the past month or so, have been trying to find a way to supplement the loss in income. So, at the moment, I'm in a bit of a weird position where I am going to start running out of savings. I barely had any savings because I was paying off debts, and I think November, I finally paid off all my debts. Unfortunately, I now no longer have a job position that is bringing in money, so I guess I'm going to be racking up debt again. So that's kind of a cursed thing to have happen. And also, in the midst of that, literally moved into a new home, a new house. Before that happened, October, I finally moved into a new home. It's bigger than the last place I was living at. And we got forced to move because the last place that I was living, the entire basement flooded out due to landlord negligence, and they decided it would be a good idea to put the water tank nowhere near a drain, or the drains actually were in another room, which was done up as a bedroom, and that's where the drain was. And it was all carpeted over, the basement flooded out, and yeah, the landlords wanted to sell the house and get rid of the house as fast as possible because of their mistakes, so we had to move. So we had all that stuff happen, and now I'm in a position where I'm now, after moving to a new house that is double the cost of rent too, by the way, I'm now looking for a job again. However, I've come to an alarming realization that my skill set is not needed by any companies at the moment. At least not where I live. I've checked all the job descriptions that are available in my area, and yeah, there is not any job positions that require my skill set. And my skill set at the moment is the Unity engine, programming in C#. I'm also currently learning the ropes of how to use AI. And if you guys want to see an AI project I'm working on, it's called Project Zeta. You can talk to an AI companion, and it's kind of fun to do. But yeah, at the moment, there's just not a lot of desire for people who are game developers or doing game development type skills, and I'm also not finding a lot of just general tech positions. So I've been trying to think a lot about where do I go from here? How do I get myself back into a position where I'm bringing in a consistent income again? Because the unfortunate thing that I've learned is that this industry does not care about really retaining its workers. It does not care about, trying to keep things stable for people. A lot of companies are looking out for themselves. And so I've come to the realization that I've got to look out for myself. I'm the only person who's going to have my best interests at heart. And I'm at the point where I've kind of lost any sort of passion for the stuff that I like to do. Even now, I'm thinking, okay, I'm on my own. Are there any projects I could just do myself and get out the door just quickly to try and just get something, some kind of, consistent revenue in, just something that allows me to be self-reliant. I am unfortunately on a financial deadline before things start to kind of crumble. And so I've just been thinking of like short projects that I can do. But there's no fun in making a project where your only thought is, what can I make that will be profitable? And profitable in the short term, because it takes all the passion out of things. And this is how a lot of companies think. The last company I worked at was very conservative with its budget, because it had to be. And a lot of our projects were very short development cycles. And I learned a lot about how to make projects that are really, really time efficient. Short development time, quick turnout, while also still retaining some level of quality. And I find myself in that same mindset, trying to make some things that'll hopefully allow me to bring in some income and not fall under financially, because I currently have no job. And all I can do is be forward thinking, because I can look in the past and say, I should have become an electrician. I should have went into trades, because I'm looking at, just distant family members who took trades instead of going into the industry I did, and they are making a hell of a lot more money. One of them already owns their own house, and that's with the terrible housing economy in Canada. I'm 27 years old, and I'm nowhere near any of that. I've only just finally paid off all my debt, and now I'm in a position where I'm going to have to start racking up debt again, just so I can keep myself fed and continue paying my the bills that keep a house over my head and allow me to operate. And so my general advice at this point to anyone who thinks, okay, I want to go into the tech industry and I want to make games and make some money, I would probably consider a job position that's not gonna be treated as if it's disposable. Find a job position where there's not many people that can be found, but there is high demand. Because if you're in a job position where there's not as much competition, but there's high demand, you get to demand a lot more for yourself and for your own well-being. But for the skill set I have, it's been demonstrated time and time again that companies don't care for my skill set. And that is kind of a tough pill that's kind of a tough pill to swallow. Programming at this point just feels like something I should have treated as a hobby. I've made money from it, yes, but it's never remained consistent as far as income. For the past year and a half, I did have consistent income in the place I was working at. I actually liked working there. But as it stands currently, and based on my prior experiences, this has not been a stable industry to make money in. And I'm 27. I need to find something stable at this point. It's time for me to switch industries and just treat the thing that I like doing, which is programming, as a side thing. Something that, if it does bring in money, great, but it's proven unreliable. This is not a position or a skill set that has brought me what I am looking for in life. So all I can say is, don't treat going into game development as something that's ever going to be a full-time job that's worthwhile. Do not treat programming as something that will bring you a long-term income. If you get lucky and you find something stable, great, but just from my experience, I should have picked something else. Now, for anyone who's interested in what I'm going to be doing going forward, I'm currently working on a project called Project Zeta. The whole concept is that it's an AI companion you can talk to. I'm going to continue expanding it. The whole idea is that it is completely uncensored. You can talk about it, you can talk to it about any subject you want, and the AI is not going to censor itself either. So it feels a bit more human. You have a lot more interesting conversations with it because it's not trying to be corporate and sanitized and boring. Other things I'm going to do is I'm going to revisit old projects that I have done, and I'm going to be seeing if there is a way I can bring them to market in a somewhat short amount of time, but in a way that, allows them to be high quality. If those projects get support, I will work towards updating those projects and, increasing the quality of those projects. But I basically have to start monetizing what I've been working on and all that stuff. If that works out, it would be nice to finally be self-reliant doing what I love. But I also need to, in lieu of that being successful, if that isn't successful, I have to switch industries and start doing something that will for sure bring in money. And it's unfortunately not going to be in the programming industry. So yeah, it's basically everything I got to say, and hopefully I'll make more videos. Maybe I'll try also passing off my knowledge to people who are interested. But yeah, that's everything I got to say. I'll see you guys next time.